Welcome to the Life Endurance Podcast, where we study methods of unlocking your true potential and explore the greatest endurance race we all partake in, life. Today, once again, I am continuing the topic of personal core values. I'm going to deep dive a little bit into my third personal core value, and that is no excuses, own it. And I should say again, if you haven't listened to the previous podcast, deep diving just into core values in general and how it can add a lot of value to your life and make big decisions, chasing goals much easier, please go back and listen to that episode. So with that, you'll remember from that episode, for personal core values, you want them to be something short and easy to remember. So no excuses, own it. Should be pretty easy to remember. Brief, short sentence, sharp, to the point. And again, it's to most people, they can probably get the gist just listening to it. No excuses, own it. And for me, this definitely stems from the book Extreme Ownership. Primarily, that's a business leadership book, but ultimately it applies to life as well. If you want to get the most out of life, if you want to reach your goals, feel fulfilled, and just feel good about you as a person, you need to take complete ownership of everything in your life. And this is a big thing for me. I think, fortunately, even before I read that book, I had a sense of that. I am definitely the type of person that, honestly, even if there are factors not in my control, I still, sometimes in a bad way, take it out on myself, think, okay, what could I have done to avoid that or influence this in a different direction if something didn't go how I wanted? Even for me, like recently, I had a project car, a performance shop took advantage of me. I lost a lot of money, and really, I tell people the story, and everybody unanimously is like, it wasn't my fault. That's just that, it shouldn't have happened, and I know, okay, yeah, that was due to other people's actions that I probably could not have predicted. Hindsight's always 20/20, but really I could not have predicted how bad this situation was going to get. But still, I always wonder, okay, what could I have done? And I guess that'll ultimately lead to another one of my core values later, but that's for another episode. And then, of course, it comes down to things where even if I mess up or if I do something good, I need to take full ownership of that. There's no benefit to hiding from something that you did wrong or even things you did good. I need to take ownership and accept what happened. That's going to help me just move forward and move forward stronger and smarter than I was before. I didn't want to just copy extreme ownership, and I kind of had to fuse together the two ways I thought of it. So I had to combine it as no excuses and own it. And I guess what I just said there was kind of more on the own it side. Whatever happened, happened. I need to take ownership of that. And then on the other side, no excuses. And this really comes down to, again, another way I could have put it. I could have made a phrase about not having a victim mentality. So for me, I am a very ambitious person. I have big goals. If you know me at all, I tend to choose the road less traveled, the difficult route. Once I learned how to swim, put my head underwater without my nose plugged, boom, I was like, I'm going to do an Ironman one day. Once I really got into running, completed a marathon, started doing triathlons, now my goal is to be able to do the Moab 240 one day. In terms of business, again, massive goals. I constantly feel like I'm behind. I'm only 26. And I've already done a lot more in terms of business than most 26-year-olds. But nonetheless, I know that it is all up to me. And that's really what the no excuses thing comes down to, is it is up to me. There is almost no excuse for not reaching my goals, short of if I had some really extreme disability. Like, okay, if I didn't have arms, playing guitar is not a reasonable goal to have. But for most things, since I am a, all in all, pretty healthy 26-year-old human being right now, there's no reason I cannot reach the goals I have set for myself. Especially because you can look out there, you can see people that have reached those same goals, And I know as a fact, not to toot my own horn, just to put it into perspective, there are people that are definitely a lot less smart than I am that have accomplished the goals I want to. And that there alone tells me I definitely have no excuse. I had to work hard in school, but I know I am typically smarter objectively than your average individual. I take care of myself physically. I am more athletic than your average individual. Again, that's not to toot my own horn, but that's me saying, hey, there's no excuse for me to not reach these goals. Anything that seems like an obstacle really is an excuse. It's something that I can figure out or I can train hard enough to overcome. Again, no excuses. So that's another example of one of my core values. Something short, to the point, no excuses, own it. And you can see how if I remember that and just apply that to my daily operations in life, it can fast track me towards success. It can keep me from wasting time. It can keep me from falling off the path that's going to lead me to the life I want to live. So I hope this gives you another good example, gets your mind thinking about your personal core values. Again, if you haven't, I challenge you, stop it right now if you can. Start writing down the things that matter most to you. What are your goals? And identify 3 to 7 at most brief statements or just even single words that if you can remember those, get them in front of you every day. It'll help you stay aligned on a path to success and fulfillment in life. So with that, I will sign off on this episode. I appreciate you so much for listening. I hope this helps you in some way, gives you something actionable to work on. If you want to learn more about me, you can check me out on Instagram and YouTube at Shady Engineering. So again, I appreciate your time, and I look forward to sharing the next episode.